Hello, my name is Junaid Ahmed Fazli. I'm recording this video for demonstration of sixth exercise in our Unix lab. The exercise is to understand the concept of arrays and user-defined functions. So simply an array is a sequence or a collection of variables of similar data type, and a user-defined function is a block of statements which will be separate from the main block and which can be called again and again as per the user's need. And the main benefit of using a function will be if that code is not necessary or if that code is repeated and several occurrences, then it will be common and separate. If not needed, it won't be extended. If needed, then only code will be extended in during the output, and that's how the complete program is compiled. So we have two applications here. First one is banking application. So in banking application, we have to create, we have four functions: either create an account or check balance, deposit money, or withdraw some money. So this is how an array element will be declared. Suppose we have an array ACC underscore number, that means account number, for n. Then what we in this program, what I'm doing is account number will be generated automatically. So first of all, I have put account number as 0, and then every time account number will be incremented by 1 whenever any user asks for an account. And while we are printing, the method is a little different. This is how we print any array element. Similarly, we have arrays for account number, account name, and balance. Then if okay, the first function is to create an account. So first of all, the account number is displayed for the user. Then user enters his name, that will be stored in account name with that particular index. Then user enter how much amount does he want to deposit, and if any of these entries are not appropriate, it displays invalid entry and user has to enter all the things again. Second one is to check how much balance does he has in his account. So first of all, user has to enter the account number, which is checked from the account number array. If it matches any of the numbers, that means account number is valid, balance is printed, otherwise error message is given. Next one is to deposit some money. So the same thing, user enters the account number, it is checked whether the account number is valid or not. Then user is asked to enter how much money does it want to deposit. The amount must be greater than 0. Then the balance, like the value of balance with index I, will be updated, and if the deposit is not greater than 0, then an error message is printed with invalid entry. The last one is to withdraw money. So user enters his account number is checked for validity, and then the user says how much amount does it want to withdraw. Withdraw also amount must be greater than 10. Then we use a temporary variable here. We subtract that the amount which the user wants to withdraw from his balance. If this temporary value is greater than 0 or equal to 0, that means the at the end the account must have either no money or some money. If this value goes to negative, that means the user does not have sufficient balance to withdraw. In that case, a proper message is printed, otherwise an error message is printed. So this is an output, sample output we have here. Next one is library management system. So we will be having multiple arrays here. One is for book name, book publisher, book ID, book quantity, and book edition. We have created 3 books here with indices 0, 1, and 2. Then we have created functions as stock. So whenever the user wants to see what's the stock of the books at present in the library, This stock will be called with which book ID does it want to see. Based on that, book name, publisher, ID, quantity and edition will be printed. Next, borrow. If user wants to borrow a book, he has to enter the ID of the book being borrowed. Then he has to enter his user ID. Both are checked for validity. Then it is checked whether quantity, like current quantity, it must be greater than 0, and the user must not have borrowed any other book at that time. At once user can borrow only one book. After checking all that, the quantity of the book is reduced by 1, and then borrow will have the value of book ID and the index as the user ID for reference, and based on that all the appropriate messages are printed. Then for return, user enters ID of the book, check for validity whether the book was already borrowed or not. Then user enters his ID. Both user ID and book ID is first of all checked for validity. Then it is checked that user has borrowed a book, and then once he has confirmed that he has borrowed a book and he is returning, while borrowing he also has to mention how many days does it want to borrow. If the number of days after which the user is returning the book exceeds the number of days for which he borrowed, then he will be charged with a fine. If there is any inappropriate entry, a proper message will be printed for that. And here we have a function to create an account. User enters his name. Account number is generated automatically. Borrow is 0. For duration, the array that was created, that is also 0. And at the end, account number is printed for the user. So this here the program starts. First one to check the stock of the books, second one to borrow, third to return a book, and fourth one to create an account. Based on the entry, the proper function is called, and it's in a loop. So if user wants to continue with some other activity, here is a sample output screenshot with all the operations that will be performed. So using this program, we have understood the concept of user defined functions and arrays clearly, and how to use them in a Unix shell script. Thank you.